There is a misconception about letting go. Aloha, my beautiful ones, and welcome to Energy Wave number 17. I'm so excited that we're already at 17. Thank you for being part of these journeys on a weekly basis. I know that sometimes I skip one, but I hope to come back. That it wouldn't be me if it wouldn't be. I'm surfing my waves, and not often, but every now and then, there's a moment where I sort of kind of need to take a little break. And that's what happened this time. But thank you for bearing with me. If this is your very first time here, my name is May. I'm your neurospicy cyberwitch, here to help you and support you unravel anything that has to do with your cyber witchiness, or maybe witchiness and sensitivity, and or neurospiciness, whichever spectrum you're on. I think this is, I created this space so that you can have little inspirations that will help you, come take steps forward into becoming more aware of who you are. And on the other hand, also becoming more confident in who you are. And like today, one of the things that I want to talk to you about is, those roles that we have that we want, because we want to be good. We want to be good people. We want to, do stuff. And so whenever we wanted to belong somewhere, we started masking. So we started playing roles. We started doing as if, we were this or that. And we started to, you know, um, be part in things, in situations, like meetings, like hobbies, just because of the surrounding people of us. And then we get to a point where we're like, okay, I'm ready to let it go, but it still feels so scary to let it go because I don't know what's happening on the other hand. And I love that this is one of the things that I learned, by the way, from not just her, but she had a big part in it, is Marie Kondo. I don't know if you know her. She has the KonMari method in, cleaning and stuff. And one of the things is about, for us, about releasing things, because of course you need to get rid of stuff. And it's the same when we clean up emotionally, things that are draining us. We want to clean it up. We want to let it go, right? And it's so easy, let it go, right? For us to start doing that and do this. But in real life, it's not that easy, because sometimes it actually scares us because of what is behind that, what is on the other side of it. Now, for today, I want to give you one little trick that actually really helps you release things, once you've gone over it's too scary part. And that is that instead of just focusing on what you need to let go, focus on what you're calling in, what kind of space you are making. Because in the moment that we release something, and this can be, a pattern that we have been doing, like I said, a role that we were doing. And when we, instead of, only focusing on that, instead of focusing on, that you're opening up a space, that you're opening yourself up to maybe something else, right? I remember when I was going through my depression, one of the things that felt so hard for me was, having having to live through, not feeling antisocial because of my overwhelm, because of so much happening. I felt like I was becoming more and more antisocial. But instead of seeing it as, me letting go of my anti-socialism, I reframed myself to opening myself up to, maybe I am an introvert. Maybe I'm opening up a space for me becoming an introvert. So what would that look like? And then I did. I really started, like children play roles. And so I allowed myself to play those roles of, feeling more like an introvert. What does it mean if I'm introverted? What am I playing with here, right? Just to give you an example as to how we can reframe the letting go part that can sometimes feel so scary, and actually make it, what if I'm actually making space for something new? What about that? The weird thing is, antisocial is not so nice, or at that point back then in the community. But saying that, hey, I'm actually an introvert, even though you don't know, but I have, because I've been masking it by I am an introvert, that was way more, better understandable for everybody around me, right? So sometimes it's just about finding the right words, and sometimes it's, reframing yourself instead of, oh my God, I need to let go of this or that hobby. Reframe it as maybe you're opening yourself up to something new because you're so excited for something new, and that's okay, and you're allowed to do that. All right. With that said, my beautiful soul, I hope that you're having a wonderful week. And I wish you many blessings for this week. And as always, please be graceful with yourself.